and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're gonna make Mark do that by himself.
Yeah, right.
I second that. All right, roll call. Steve Merk was out. Steve Hoyt?
Here.
Tim?
Here.
Johnson? Samantha Hayes is here. Jim Costello?
Here.
All right. Did everyone get to review the meeting minutes?
Make a motion, we accept the minutes of February 4th.
Second it.
All in favor?
Abstain.
Oh, wait a minute.
You abstain too.
That's right, they both have to abstain because they
Yeah,
weren't
so-
here. We can't,
So we can't do that, right?
we don't have a quorum.
All right. So can we hold this and advance it to next meeting?
Or if Mark shows up, then we can just vote on it again.
Yeah.
Samantha, David Libby is here from RTP. He's a gentleman in the back.
Oh, great, okay. So let's do that underneath.
I'm sorry, Donald.
Donald.
Which page is that in the binder?
RTP.
Oh, no, that's not in this book. Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is. Give me a second, I'll tell you.
42, looks like. Yep.
Yep.
All right, Donald, we'll take you underneath old business, which is right now.
I'm back for my annual visit. You guys probably have seen the request, requesting $13,000 for the Lakes Region Explorer, $13,000. We're requesting that from every town that participates. Bridgeton, Naples, Wyndham, Casco, and,
So these are the towns that pay.
yeah. Raymond isn't part of our route anymore. We skipped right over it, so.
Well, when did that start?
It's almost 2 years ago now.
I can tell you right now, I followed a bus that stopped at Raymond, stopped at the Raymond Shopping Center, picked up somebody.
Okay,
dropped
that's
somebody.
that's a different service. Raymond's paying us $70,000 a year for a microtransit service. They started that last, that was on their warrants last year.
Different bus?
Yeah, smaller bus,
Really?
yeah. They
I can
started,
tell you, I've seen that F-550 that's sitting at the Legion pull into the same parking lot.
Yeah.
Same bus, followed it right down 302, it picked somebody up right at Pete Watkins Trailer Park, went right all the way down and turned into the parking lot and picked him up.
when did you see that?
Within the last month,
Our buses don't deviate. I mean, it's kind of hard to do when they got people on board, so it'd be very hard for them to deviate off the route. GPS would alert us, so I mean,
Is it possible that,
we have a driver that lives in Raymond.
is it possible that you used this bus to fulfill that $70,000 contract?
No, we never do. No, yeah, we can't use that big bus for that. It's not designed for that.
Well, I mean, since it's going right straight through, from an economic standpoint.
No, we never do. No, we have 4 microtransit buses that are running.
Okay.
Wyndham, Standish, and Gorham's got one.
So where do they go?
Those buses are local service providers. So
Just locally within
yeah,
Raymond?
so they'll go maybe the next town over, but it's just short. I mean, we have another one that's running in Harrison and Bridgeton. So, and Raymond is the one that, because there was people that lived in Wyndham that moved to Raymond and said, how come you don't have this?
Right.
And then the Raymond Town Council, it's kind of ironic, the one person on the council that didn't want to pay for the Lakes Region bus is the one that approached me about this. So they wouldn't fund the money for Lakes Region stop, but they funded the money for this.
So they wouldn't spend 10, but they spent 7.
Yep. Made sense to me. It blew my mind when she called me, because I said, there's one person on your council that don't, she goes, that's me.
So you can assure us,
If it's stopping at Raymond and you guys see it, you call me, because
Okay.
they're not, they know that. So I do have one driver that lives over in Raymond. So I'm wondering if in between shifts you're seeing that bus, but I'm gonna find out tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm gonna go dig into it tomorrow and say, hey, what are we doing? Because the GPS is supposed to alert me too, because we have geofencing. So we know when it deviates off the route.
does it look like this bus, but it's just smaller?
Yeah, it's
Then I probably
Yeah,
I can't say with 100% certainty.
Yeah, I mean,
that the same
it's
bus.
quite, it's like, I mean, it's probably 10 feet shorter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean,
I didn't pay that enough attention to measure the sizes of the bus,
Yeah.
but it looked like the same bus. All right,
but we have a bunch of them running. I mean, you'll see a bunch of those, you'll see a bunch of the transits, and now we got a couple minivans that are running all through here. The idea behind that is that eventually, you know, the state keeps talking about transit up here, like, because there's nothing up here, right? There's nothing for the people to
Right.
use to get from town to town. And the commuter thing's great to go to Portland, but what do you do for the senior citizen that doesn't drive, or the person that doesn't drive that just wants to go to the grocery store or go to a dentist appointment? So the idea is that hopefully we can expand these so every town has their own, you know, for every town, we have one of these vans running in between that can pick up, because it's really inexpensive. We charge, I think it's $3 per person each way.
right.
I have one person I have a mechanic shop in Wyndham that uses it. And he uses it as a courtesy shuttle. He calls every time they drop a car off, yeah, we can get you home, you know, so it makes sense in some regards. So hopefully, that, you know, if we see the success with Bridgeton and Harrison, hopefully they'll fund their own, because the state subsidized that. That was a discretionary grant for them. And then if that works out, then we can move that grant down the line, and, you know, Wyndham's grant runs out, and then hopefully Wyndham will pick up the cost on that. And Raymond decided to pick up the cost on their own. It blew my mind, because I haven't had a good success with them, you know, going forward. They were always, as you guys know, because you guys mentioned it to me my first year when I walked in here. You know, when are you going to stop? You know, because they were underfunding, and it wasn't fair to the other towns that were participating. So we're looking for 13, and the 4 towns that are participating in it, we are asking them to do the same thing. And hopefully if everybody does the same thing, we don't have the issue like we did with Raymond a few years ago, where one town was underfunding, and then the rest of the town started squawking, saying, hey, why are you letting them get away with it again? So, and then for the lakes, for the RTP side, which we'll touch on that, that's a small amount, it's $800. That's just for the social services that we do in town.
Yep.
Ridership's up. We do have some new things coming, and I would like to add a stop. And we would like to add, and I just put in for grant, for actual bus shelters for the stops. So it'll look like a real bus stop, not just a sign on the side of the road. But we would like to have 2 stops in Naples, and I think one towards the causeway that we would utilize more during the summer like we did last year, because it made a lot more sense. We had a lot of people that stopped at right over here at the, was a library. And a lot of people utilized that last year. A lot of tourists jumped on it. I think it'll be easier this summer because we'll take credit cards. It's not gonna have to be cash only. So they can actually do a Samsung Pay and Apple Pay right on the bus. You know, and if they want to take a ride into Portland. And then the other discussion that I'm going to have a talk now that you, with your town manager, is maybe doing a later shuttle during the summer. Because I know that this is busy down here, right? You got the Ricks and everything else. Maybe something later on a Saturday night that we can get people in and out of here. So, because I think that would make a lot of sense, because you guys got tourists and people like to go to Portland and like to venture back and forth, so.
And last year, I think we talked about adding some stops on a Saturday. Was that done last?
We did, we did 4 round trips on a Saturday last year, so we were doing that. But ultimately, I'm wondering if Saturday needs to be later, you know, because of the activity that's on the causeway. I spent some time down last summer here on my motorcycle and realized, hey, you know, there's a lot of stuff happening that maybe we need to.
Well, there's also certain weekends that have special events going on.
Right, like we had, while we provided service, I think there was a concert two summers ago.
Yeah.
And you know, we would happily do that again. We've done that for the, you know, because people were parking, I think at the Legion or someplace up by the marina up there, that other boat yard, they were parking to get them down to the causeway because it was so busy, so we don't care about that. That's a no-brainer for us. We're gonna be here anyway, so.
How many round trips do they do in a day?
4. So we start in Bridgeton at 6 a.m. and the last trip of the day ends in Bridgeton around 9:40 at night. You know, I would like to see us do a second morning shuttle at 7 a.m. That's something that's on the list, to start in Bridgeton a little later for the people that think about it. If you work in Portland and you would grab the bus at 6 and you miss it, you're screwed. You know, I hate to say that, but so maybe a second shuttle that staggers, that runs a little behind that, and the same thing in the evening. I don't think we need to be out as late, but I think leaving Portland at 5:45 doesn't always help everybody, because if they don't get out of work in time, they miss the shuttle, they gotta wait till 8 o'clock. So, we're trying to think of other ways to get ridership. But this area, Naples itself is a big centerpiece, especially during the summer, because everybody wants to come here, everybody wants to get, and people from here want to get to Portland.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I think the Saturday service, I think we could do more. But I think the biggest thing is that fare payment system is going to be huge for us, being able to go forward with, we're joining with the Metro with the Dorigo bus pass, so you'll be able to swipe a Dorigo pass, use it here, use it in Portland, and then you'll also be able to pay with credit card with the Samsung app and Apple Pay, and you can swipe your own credit card, tap and go, whatever. So, because nobody carries cash anymore. It's kind of a hard thing to say, hey, you got four ones on you. Nobody ever does. So that's what we're looking for. I don't know if you have any more questions for me, but.
No, you answered my question.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Any other old business?
Yeah, did you do the rec center for 20 years? You were gonna do the calculation to see what?
Yeah, I don't have it with me.
No?
No.
Any other old business? All right, moving on to new business. Where do you want to start?
I'll start with admin.
Huh?
Fine.
After admin, can we do codes first, then clerks?
We can do code first if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, while we're doing code, can you run me what the numbers would be on the clerks with the one less clerk? Like, can you quickly adjust that, like in Excel, and just see what the numbers would be?
All right. Start with CEO.
Yeah.
So before we get into the numbers, just want to.
What tab is that?
10.
10.
Let me know when you're ready.
Yep. And we got a new updated, right?
What's that?
Yep.
We have an updated.
Yep. Okay, you guys ready?
Yep.
All right, so I'm gonna break it down into salaries and benefits and then operating expenses, since they're kind of two different categories. First thing, I just want to highlight a few things. So over the past year, we had one of the code enforcement officers leave, and we decided not to fill the position. That's a $70,000 a year plus benefits cost reduction there. We'll talk about needing to make a change on that at some point in the future. We cost reduced the harbor master position by adding the responsibilities to the CEO, so there's a negative downward cost there, but I don't have a number for it. Provided the CEO with a stipend for the harbor master coverage, so that's, there's a savings on what we did, but then there's also a cost of $6,000. But it's a net down. And then we added a per diem, we're looking to add a per diem position in the next fiscal year, so that if the CEO is on vacation or he's going to training, some of the trainings take several days in a row, we can have somebody come in and cover for him. So that's an increase of $3,200. And then over the course of the year, they issued 261 building permits. So this is 2025, the last year that we have the data for. And that's growing by about 20 a year over the last 3 years. They've issued 194 plumbing permits, and that's growing by about 10 a year. And looking forward a bit to 2028, looking to add online permitting. That's there'll be a sunk cost and then an annual cost associated with that. I think the sunk cost is 10 grand, and then the annual cost is about 4,300.
Opposite.
Opposite of that?
Yeah.
The other way around?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the sunk cost is,
There's a setup fee, which is around $5,000, depending on the size of your town,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of data to transfer. And then there's an annual fee, depending on the size of your town. And that's how they calculate it. They do an annual maintenance fee to do that.
okay.
And then if you look ahead even further, we're expecting that at the next census, the population will go over 4,000. It's highly likely it's already there, but the state relies on the census. And at that time, the Maine Uniform Building and Energy Codes will come into effect, and there are requirements from the state that will put an extra workload on the town. And so probably in FY '29, maybe halfway through, we'll need to add the second code enforcement officer back in. So we'll be able to go basically 2 years without it, and then we'll have to add that position back in. So, under salaries and benefits, if you look at it, the expenses in FY '25 were 256, 204. The budget in FY '26 was 383, 722, and this year's budget is 305, 100. So that's a decrease of, a budget decrease of 78,672. And then on operating expenses, FY '25, it was 25,785. FY '26, that dropped to, we budgeted 21,025, and in FY '27, we're budgeting 21,110. So that's a reduction in budget of 915. And then from opportunities looking forward, the online accessibility, like we talked about in FY '28, fee adjustments, and I think before we do that, we need to do some surveys, other towns, to see what other people are doing. And then also when the MOVEC comes into account, we can do electrical inspections when we add the other code officer, and that'll also generate more fees for the town. So there's some fee generating opportunities looking out. And so just to summarize, I wanted to give a shout out to the planning office because they do an amazing job supporting the comprehensive plan, the ordinance review committees, and the planning boards. And we're starting to get benchmarked by other towns. So I know Harrison has been benchmarking, Casco's benchmarking. There's quite a few people that are talking about adding a planner similar to what we do. And when Marine Safety was reorganized, the code department stepped up and took on the harbor master work, and Randy has been very positive about supporting that. And Randy, Thurston, and Ketty have done an excellent job supporting a heavier workload as the building permits and the plumbing permits and things like that increase. And then we already talked about looking ahead, the online accessibility, and then also just a reminder that we're going to have to add that second code officer back in at some point.
Questions?
Right now, which day is the code officer off, Monday or Friday?
Fridays.
Which day is the planner off?
Friday.
Would it be a problem if one of you was on Monday and one of you was on Friday? So there was somebody in the building 5 days a week? I'm just asking.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's a schedule question. It's
Right.
not really a budget question, so I'd leave that up to the manager and the select board to decide. One thing I will note, I think I don't know which version you have, because I think I have an updated version, where it says CEO, division head, 35 hours a week, that should say 40. That was the old Kate position.
Yeah, this is the 40.
Yeah, and the hourly rate, I don't know what you guys are showing, but it would actually be less than last fiscal year, because what's happened is Randy's moved up to the lead. The assistant CEO is no longer a position, but because he's getting the stipend, he's getting the 3% on his old salary. So that's a 40-hour-a-week position now.
Yeah, that's what it says
Okay,
on our
yeah,
page.
she must have done some
Yeah.
quick printing for you
Yeah.
guys then.
Yep.
All right, so I have a couple questions. It says harbor master stipend for the 6,000. That's in for this year.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then we have another deputy harbor master stipend for 2575 on the marine safety.
Different position. Different person.
That's the one that actually,
Yes. That's Rob.
Rob,
Yeah.
Where are you
Position.
looking, Sam?
If you go to the marine safety tab, night 16. It says an annual stipend for the supervisor, then it says deputy harbor master stipend,
It
$25.75.
might be double. Let's,
I don't think so. I
And
think
this
that's
is harbor
Rob.
master stipend,
Ten.
who is the same person, so for 6,000.
No, it's not the same person. Randy is the Randy is harbor master. He's issuing dock permits.
So
Who's the
who's
moon?
the deputy harbor master?
That would be Rob, because Randy is the
Yeah.
only one that has taken the training, the required training that allows for citations and that type of stuff. So Randy is the lead. He's the harbor
Which is
master.
6,000,
It's
which
the
is
6,000, and he's housed in my department.
Yep.
And he does dock permits, mooring permits, and he assists the marine safety if needed, like when there's something in the water that needs to be towed, that type of stuff. So that 6,000 is housed in my department. That other stipend is for Rob.
So why is there a 10,000?
So then who's the supervisor?
Rob is the supervisor.
Rob is the
So he's getting
supervisor.
a 10,000 salary, and then he's getting a 25.75 stipend, an annual stipend for salary, and
Two
then-
different jobs. So as a marine safety supervisor, he's getting 10,000. And then as the deputy harbor master, those are two different positions. Yeah.
Two different people?
Same person.
No, same person doing two different things.
No, Rob, all right, let's make sure we got this correct.
I
So the
apologize. I'm not
deputy
doing
harbor
this right.
master under marine safety, $2,500, that's Rob.
That's not, that's,
Who's that?
okay,
That
so
should be removed.
that used to be, the deputy harbor master when the harbor master was Sean.
Right.
And
So
now,
we
now
pull
he's
that?
Rob's deputy, if that makes any sense.
So we can take out that 2,500.
You can, if you want. Last year was still in the budget. He was still getting paid for it, so we kept it in this year. That's something we can discuss when we have
Yeah.
marine safety.
Okay.
When we,
Right.
yeah.
So nobody collected it last year?
Yeah, the deputy did.
Who was the deputy last year?
Well, Rob, I think it was Butch.
Butch?
I'll have to look into it, but we can talk about that.
We changed mid-year, so.
Yeah, it was,
It was like May.
Okay, and then, under computer services / contracts, there's.
You back on code now?
Yes, I'm sorry, back on code. There's an internet stipend for the head and lead CEO. And then if you go underneath telephones, it says cell and internet reimbursement. Are we double dipping again on the internet there? Because one's 900 and one is
which one?
1075
Which one is this? Are we still on code?
on code.
Which lines?
The computer services and contracts, sorry, there's no number next to it, so I don't know what line number.
So I can tell you what the 900 is. That's for the cell phone and the stipends that we get monthly.
So then
The
what's,
3,000.
but then further down it says telephones, cell and internet reimbursement for 1075.
I'm wondering if the same thing happened with yours, Kathy, as it did mine, because computers or the telephones was combined, and then they split mine for internet and computer and services and
So-
telephone and telephone.
So,
Because looking at this, it says basically it's $19.75 a year
Right.
that you guys are spending on phones.
it's phone and internet. So
It's-
the stipend is $50 for the phone, $25 for the internet. The code officers get $25. I don't know, there's a list. Not everybody the department heads get 50 for phone unless they are issued a town phone, which is about the same amount that what we pay for a town phone. So like Steve Merkel has a phone, town manager has a phone.
So how many in code
3.
have 3 cell phones that are issued by the
No.
town?
We use our own.
They
We're the
use their
900. We're the 900. That second line, I didn't see the reimbursement. I just assumed that was the cost for our internet, for us using like our emails and stuff.
So the 1,200 can come out underneath telephones.
She's looking at line
I'm looking at it right now. Hold on, give me a second.
It's like 3/4 of the way
Zero.
down the page.
02115.
Yes.
Yeah, it's right above legal expenses.
So I think that description is off.
That's what I think. I think that's the cost for us having telephones and in our office. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't
No.
think, no, I don't think so.
I don't think that description is correct, and I
Yeah.
don't think it's for.
Can I get back to you on that, Sandy?
Yeah, but I'm marking it as a recommendation to take it out until we figure out what it is.
The 900 is for a stipend
Yes.
for your phone,
No, not just.
Both
for
of
me,
them.
all three of us.
all three of them. I just wanted to make sure everyone
We
was,
use our own phones.
right, I just wanted to make sure everyone was
Yeah.
getting it. And we weren't taking something out that was.
You said there's
covering
3 phones.
We use our own phones.
Yeah, they use
You
their own
get 50
phones.
bucks a month, so that's 150 bucks a month. Between
It's
the
not
3
the
of you,
same
that's
amount.
not adding up.
It's not the
It's not the
same
same
amount.
amount across the board.
Some
Some are
people
higher,
get
some are
50,
low.
some people get 25. It's based on the amount of usage and
Okay.
$900 for a year for 3 phones is a hell of a deal. There's no way you can get 3 phones for $900.
It's not 3 phones, it's a reimbursement, 'cause
Right,
they're using
right.
their own phone.
Right, but
Right,
it's
but if
3
we had to
people.
supply those
Right.
phones,
We
it'd
had
be
to
more than
supply those
$900.
phones, and we had to supply a program.
Well, I understand that, but I just wanna
Right.
know the differences between the 1,200, because
Right.
I wanna make sure it's in the right spot.
Yep.
There was something else. Oh, training, okay, never mind. Just-
So I want to make sure I understand these new columns. FY '26 budget is the '25-26 budget.
that we're existing in right now, that we're working.
That's current budget.
That's current budget.
FY '25 is what was actually spent yet not audited.
Correct.
And the DH-TM,
Proposed is what you guys are reviewing.
what does DH/TM stand for?
Department head, town manager.
So this is the '26-27 proposed.
Correct.
Can we relabel that moving forward 26-27 so we get the years right? Thank you. You don't have to change it, but I'm just saying, as we update the sheets.
All right. Vehicle fuel and reimbursement, thank you, this is for the differences. Thank you.
You-
We have one car designated, we have one car designated to code enforcement.
Correct?
Is there still a marine car patrol vehicle?
Yep, yep.
That's under marine safety.
Okay, and how many code enforcement employees do we have driving around in their own vehicle?
They do both. Occasionally they'll take their own business. For the most part, Randy uses the van. And he is one, it's just, yes, he uses ours, the code van.
Okay, so why are we at 1,500 for reimbursement of personal vehicles if he's not using it, his own personal vehicle?
What line are you
It says
on?
fuel for municipal vehicle and reimbursement for use of personal
Right,
vehicles.
it's
So
combination
it's
of both.
combined.
It's combination of
It's
both.
combined.
Yeah,
It's,
So it's
We
the
still
fuel
pay for
for the
fuel.
van, it's the fuel for the van, and then it's,
So if he goes to a training and he takes his own vehicle, he's gonna get, if he drives up to Kalis, sorry, Upper Maine, or somewhere up there, he's
Oh,
gonna,
for like
he's
the-
gonna get reimbursed for that. If I drive to a training somewhere, I'm going to get reimbursed for that, or to a meeting outside. So that's for and everybody in our department.
but it's also for the fuel for the van.
Yes,
Correct.
correct.
So it's a combination of
Correct.
both.
So even though there's one less
Combined.
person, that's not really gonna change, because that one person's gonna be driving around more. So,
Well, it's down a little bit.
it's down a little bit.
It's down 250 from last year's budget. Right?
Yes,
If I understand these columns correctly.
correct, correct. It's down a little bit.
Good.
Fuel prices are down a little bit too.
Yep.
do you have any other questions?
Why did postage go up?
I was waiting for that question. Because they divided it up between the departments. So before it was an admin, so
Yep.
now each department has their own. So if we do notifications,
Okay, for
we
all
have
the
to
abutters,
certify,
for all the
certified mailings.
Got it.
Now, remember though, we get that in revenue.
Yep.
So some of this we're getting back. 'Cause
Yep.
we increased the fee schedule to cover that.
Okay. That answers my question.
All right, that's all I've got. Anyone else? You guys are all good? Jim?
I am, yep.
Okay. Who is up next?
admin?
Thank you.
Thank
Oh,
you.
one other question.
See, should have said.
Well, no, this is just,
Yeah.
so I understand.
Sure.
So you're in charge of codes.
I
So
am.
Randy reports to you.
He does.
Okay, gotcha. Yep.
Yes. So, I wanted to, just so you guys understand what's happened, just so you can understand a little bit how we're making it work.
Yeah.
Because we do have the same amount of work or more with 3 people, but what happened is when I came here, I took on planning board, Board of Appeals, the ORC, Ordinance Review Committee, and I'm also doing the rec center and right now the comp plan. But taking over the Board of Appeals and ORC took that load off of the code officer.
Correct.
So that means that he was able to concentrate more on permitting, which just meant that we didn't need that second body.
Makes sense.
The one thing, I will say the downside to that though is that if someone comes in, there's a chance that there's not someone there at the desk.
Because they're doing an
Because they're
inspection.
doing their inspections. So long-term, as we grow, we're going to have to deal
But
with
the
that.
assistants there, they can at least,
The assistant can answer questions. I can answer questions on shoreline zoning because I'm certified in shoreline zoning. So we have some overlap now that we didn't have before. The other thing, the reason why we're asking for the stipend is that just fills for paid time off if someone's out.
no, I love the idea of
Yeah.
the stipend versus a full-time
Yeah.
position.
Yep.
My only issue, and it's not for tonight, is somebody be in the codes office on Monday. Whether it's the assistant, whether it's you, I don't care how the 3 of you do your 4-day work week, but it would be great if somebody was there, so if somebody came in, they could answer questions.
I hear you.
Yep.
Have a good night.
Thanks.
Thank you.
What tab is the next one?
Next one is 7, admin. Right, is that where we're going next?
Correct, yep. Okay, I got the same thing here. I'm gonna go over some highlights and then open it up.
So again, this replaces the one that's in the book,
Yep.
Yep,
Good one.
one on the desk.
yep.
Go ahead.
You ready? All right. So, couple of big things here is obviously there's a change with Jason leaving and me coming on board. That causes, I have to get used to the team has to get used to me. So there's been a lot of activities going on. People getting asked to do maybe some things they haven't done before, so it's created some extra work for people. Audits, FY23 is complete, FY24 is very near completion. And it's really not unusual for a town to be between 1 and 2 years behind on the audits, and that has a lot to do with the auditors too. There aren't that many auditors in the state, and we're using one of the most popular ones. We've also been working on a financial control policy, and our auditor, Ron, R.H. Smith, he provided us with a template that we've been modifying. I think it's quite a good one. We're not done yet, but it'll help us a lot going forward. And then internal reconciliations, there's a lot of internal work being done to support the audit activities. And then as far as salaries and benefits, that first section, if you look at it, the expense in FY25 was $356,400. The budget in FY26 was $388,600. And this year, the budget has gone up to $464,700. So that's an increase of $76,151. Of that increase, and there's some puts and takes in here, so that the increases will be a little bit higher. There's some other numbers that went down, but health insurance is going up $59,400. Part of that is the premium going up. We're being told to expect an 18% increase. Just to put that into perspective, the Casco transfer station is expecting 26 plus. Insurance is insane right now.
So health insurance is going up $59,000?
Yeah,
How many employees are on the admin health
It's
insurance?
just 4,
Four.
but it's also a change in status, like
Yeah.
change employees, some people take the health insurance, some people don't because their spouse has health insurance. So we went from 2 employees who had other insurance to 2 employees that are getting insurance.
So we went from 2 to 4.
Correct. And it could be going from a single person to a family plan. It's a significant difference from a single plan to a family plan.
yeah.
So,
So Jason didn't have health insurance, I have health insurance. So that's an add to the roles.
okay, but what do we offer as a benefit for health insurance for an employee? What does the town pay for?
We pay for 90% of their premium.
No matter what class they're in?
No, just the 90% of the employee premium,
90% of the single employee premium?
correct?
Yep.
75% of their family member premium. And we also offer a health reimbursement account to help them cover deductible expenses.
Town doesn't use MMA, we use Anthem. And MMA, if we went with MMA, it would be more expensive, but they, because they have basically no deductible, Anthem has a bigger deductible, so the town kicks in on the HRA.
What's the deductible? When the town kicks in, you mean they pay the difference?
No.
They pay they'll pay approved deductible expenses, up to their deductible, which is, right now it's $3,500 for a single, $7,000 per family. Changes.
And the
every
town
year.
kicks in a portion of that?
No, they'll pay for the full deductible expenses if they use that much. We on average are using about, the last couple of years when I did the math, we used about 39% of the HRA as a whole, as a staff.
Is that in a separate line item or just included in one lump?
It's included in the healthcare as a separate line item. Like
But for this purpose, it's all in the healthcare.
it says, there's two lines there. One of them is for the health insurance, the other one, the second line, is for HRA.
Okay.
And we are budgeting, we used to budget 100% utilization rate of the HRA, but it doesn't really help us from a budgeting standpoint because we've never even come close to that, so we reduced that to 80%. It's very unpredictable. You cannot predict how much people are gonna get sick, it's just one of those things.
Okay, so last year we budgeted the 20,000, but we only used just under 9.
Correct.
Okay, all right. And so we're budgeting a little more just in case. And then the money goes just back into the general if it's not used?
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Like anything else,
All right.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay? And then salaries, there's an increase of 19,000 in there.
So built into this whole budget is a 3% COLA,
Correct.
is that correct?
Yeah.
Yet,
There are
there are
exceptions.
well, I can see that.
Yep.
So there's contracts where there are 5% increases,
Yep. Yep.
so you're one of them.
Yes, sir.
And when does your contract end? How long
It's
is
an
your contract?
employee agreement, it's,
3 years.
right now it's 3 years.
And yours is,
3 years.
is there any other people that get more than 3% besides you two?
Yes.
Oh,
Yep. Steve and
Steve and Steve, these two
Yep.
Steves?
Yep. And
Brian?
Brian.
And why is that we negotiated 5% increases for a handful of people and the rest get 3?
No, when I came in under a contract.
I understand.
She had a contract, that's why those were like that. Then we did a salary survey, and we went out and we looked at, well, you saw a version of it. We went out and looked at a bunch of towns that we call them our comp group. And then I also followed up one-on-one with the town managers of some of those towns to make sure that the data I had was correct. And when it was done, we had a bunch of people that were way under where their peers are. We actually had, this year alone, we've had two people try to get pulled out of here.
That's gonna happen no matter what.
Yep, but you gotta have some stability. And when you have key people, you gotta keep them.
So I just want to make sure we're clear. So in a tough year like this, if the budget committee and or the select board decides that we can't afford a 3% increase this year, that's in the budget, so they decide to go 1 or 2, 5 employees will still get 5% increases, no matter what the budget committee or the select board does.
2 are under contract.
2 are under contract.
The contract employee is always gonna get the raise until the contract's up, until contract negotiation.
Part of the contract.
So the other 3 are just 5% is in this budget, but it can be adjusted.
Yeah,
The Steve, and Brian don't have contracts.
Those are recommended
Correct.
increases
Those are
based
recommended.
on position
Fine,
leveling and
okay.
that type of
So you two are the only two that have contracts in the town,
I believe that's true,
employee
yes.
contract.
Yep.
Okay.
Same thing here. Do you mind just looking in again on the internet stipends and the cell phone internet, just make sure there's no double dip there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a double dip.
Yeah, these are much lower, but just in case.
Yeah, they're not. But we'll look at it, but they're not double dips.
All right, any other questions?
Want me to keep going?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I thought you had finished.
Okay, so
You must have interrupted him.
under
Sure I
operating
did.
expenses, FY '25 was at 300K, FY '26 was at 191, and then this year we're budgeting 225, and then so that's a delta, an increase of 34, and I'm gonna explain why. Consumables, we have $11,000 increase in there. The budget last year was 3,000, but the two-year average spend was 14,800, so the budget was way out of alignment. So that's just bringing the budget in. Electrical increase is up 9450. The prior budget was 9,000, but the two-year spending on average was 14 trending. And we continue to get rate hikes on that, so that's why that one's up. And then insurance increase. Insurance is up, and this is liability insurance, that's up almost $24,000. Prior budget was 30, but the prior year spend was actually 52. It was improperly budgeted. So we had a couple of years where we were budgeting based on budgeting trends and not on spending trends.
My liquor liability, my liquor liability insurance went from 2,500 to 14,000. So I can see where liability
Yeah.
insurance is going up.
Are they shopping the liability insurance every year?
No, not every year. We have reached out, first of all, when you get into municipal insurance and stuff, they're almost all owned by the same company. So you start calling around to different agencies, you can find out they're all under the same umbrella.
I think Jason did all of that research last year too.
Yeah,
I think
I've done it
he
for,
read real quick, 'cause,
I've
yeah.
done it for Waterford, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
hard to find somebody that isn't under the same umbrella. What we have done is reached out to Chalmers and said, if we raised our deductible, what could we get for a reduced rate on it? And he's only done it for one of the numbers I asked him for. So we have a really low deductible. I've asked him to look at 5, 10, 15, and 20,000. And I'm basically gonna graph that out, and if it's laying over, then you know you're getting everything you can get. But we would be better off to put money into a reserve fund and go with a higher deductible than we would be to pay a higher amount every single year. So that's one thing that we are looking at.
On all our insurance policies.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of stuff we need to bid, but we gotta have
Right.
bandwidth to bid too, and we haven't had it yet, so, well, it's on the list. Yeah, health insurance too. We did bid health insurance, and then I just went through a bidding process for Waterford. I can tell you that, the plan that Waterford has is very competitive. Not Waterford, Naples, I'm sorry. Naples plan's very competitive. If you go with MMA, it's about $40,000 for a family.
Yeah, he did all those numbers last year.
Yeah, no,
That
I'm
was the
thinking of
lowest one.
all the liability insurances and everything.
Oh yeah, all of it.
Yeah, you're right, the higher deductible, the lower the rate is.
Mm-hmm.
You put the money in the bank, you hope you don't spend it.
Quite frankly, I mean, we don't have that many claims, so.
Right.
So just for summary, health insurance, the premiums are going up significantly. Like I said, we were told to expect 18%. MMA has put out numbers, and the transfer station, I'm being told, is 26.6. Part of the reason health insurance is up is because Jason didn't have it, and now I'm on the family plan. Liability insurance, that's up 23 grand due to the inadequate budgeting. And we already talked about me requesting higher deductibles. And then the one thing I did want to say about the inflation rate, the reason we're asking for a 3% COLA is last year ended at 2.7, but it's really interesting, if you graph it, they didn't report in October. And if you graph where they were headed to 3.4. And all of a sudden, October's numbers drop out, and then the last 2 months, it's not even on the same pattern. It is the strangest looking thing I've ever seen. And I went back and graphed like what happened over every month for 15 years, and we've never seen a pattern like that. So I'm a little worried that they understated the cost of living increase last year. Or inflation, I mean.
So why is the auditor going down from 27 to 15, to 19?
Because we're getting caught up.
Okay, so that was a reflection of them doing extra work and everything? Okay, that answers that question. You said postage got divvied up between departments. Why is our postage going up to 5,700 under admin when Kathy just told us that we just put 4,000 in her department that came out of admin?
So we never tracked postage for code at all. Everything went under admin. Then when we split admin and clerks, then we didn't know how much each department used, so we kind of split it 50-50 in the budget. And in October of this year, or last year, we actually set up the machine so that when you are using the postage machine, you enter what department you're from. So now we can actually track actual postage per department. That includes rec, that includes code, finance. So like when Harry and I pay bills and we do accounts payable, we send out checks. And so this year, I got the most accurate estimate of what each department spends. And admin, which is butters, notices, what else does Katrina have to
Personal
send out?
property.
Personal property.
Liquor, entertainment.
Yeah, liquor, entertainment notices, and then all of mine and Harriet's finance postage. That's all under admin.
No, I get all that. The problem is, if you add all the postage numbers now, it's far greater than last year.
No, it's not. You haven't looked at clerks yet, did you?
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Mine's cut in half.
Well, fine, okay. Answers that question. So the only other issue I have, and I'm gonna bring it up when we discuss, when the budget committee deliberates, but the town of Naples does not need 2 finance directors for the size town we have. So my question to you is, wouldn't a part-time and/or 30-hour-a-week bookkeeper at a lot less suffice the same job because she's paying checks, she's writing checks?
No, you're close. I don't know where you get that information that a town this size doesn't need 2 finance directors or finance personnel, but we do. And since I've gotten here, which has been 2 years, I guess a little over 2 years, the truth is the tasks have increased. And that's because when you have one finance person working a town this size, there are things that just don't get done. So now we're actually to a point where we're doing things properly.
So what's getting done that did not get done in the last 10 years?
Oh,
That requires
a lot.
40 hours, okay, well, give me some
lot.
examples that
So
requires 40 hours a week.
let's back up a second. Let's don't get caught up on titles. So Harriet is the deputy director. I actually comped her as being a bookkeeper, and she is paid at bookkeeper rate. So
So she's already at a bookkeeper rate?
she's at bookkeeper rate.
Okay.
So the title, we could change her title, but the job she does, she is being comped appropriately. That's why I have her in at the 3% COLA.
So you reduced her pay when Pat came on
No,
board?
didn't need to. She's making what bookkeepers make.
There's gonna have to be some cuts in this budget somewhere, because the taxpayers are not gonna agree to a $1.50 tax increase, so that's one of the areas that we have to look at.
Okay, so then we need to
So
talk
maybe it
about,
goes to part-time, maybe the bookkeeper goes to part-time, but I can tell you right now, the plan that was supposed to happen, that never happened, was when we hired the new finance director, Harriet was supposed to retire. Harriet decided not to retire. That was the plan,
Okay,
the very beginning,
okay,
okay? So that changed in the process,
yeah. But I'm telling you, we need a full-time bookkeeper,
okay?
and she's paid at bookkeeper wages.
Can we get the numbers for this run for our discussion at part-time for that bookkeeper?
We just
Just to
cut
see
it
what the
in half.
numbers is, no, at part-time.
That's what I
not
mean, you
full-time.
would just cut this number in half.
But then, no, but you're
But I
gonna
think
take away
I
the
think it
employee.
changes a little bit of everything else.
Doesn't it take away all the employee benefits and all that? Because if they're part-time, they don't get benefits.
Oh, true.
Right, so can we get those numbers so we can see them for our discussion?
Yeah.
What's that?
I'll tell you, I won't support that.
That's
Um,
fine, because the taxpayers might, and we
And,
gotta do.
okay, so
Hold-
part of the
hold on.
discussion we have to have is our books are not as clean as they need to be. And it's why we're so far behind on audits, because we have to spend so much time cleaning things up. And the reason we're in the shape we're in is because we didn't properly staff the manpower that we needed to do those things properly. And I'm telling you, we're still trying to catch up. You ask questions like, what is your fund balance right now? We can't answer them because we can't get to it because of all the other things that are wrong that we're trying to fix.
In fairness to this discussion, and it's gonna come up, and the next one is gonna come up further down the road, we should have an executive session, because we shouldn't be discussing personnel in the public. So we should schedule, after we go through the rest of the departments, then we should have an executive session to discuss personnel. Because I disagree partly to what you said, and I agree with you partly to what you said, but I don't want to get into it in the public. We shouldn't. So,
I don't think the budget committee can have executive session.
yeah, they can.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we've had them in the past when we discussed personnel.
And if we need to bring in the select board.
Yeah,
Yeah, personnel would be a select board discussion, so when you're like in joint session with them, maybe then.
yeah.
Okay. All right, so you can run us those numbers though, so we can see the difference between full-time and part-time.
Sure.
Thank you. Anything else on admin? Did we get to the
No, I got
end, or
one.
we cut you off again?
Under telephones, the phone and internet for the historical building, doesn't that, maybe that's something for you to look into, Randy. I think that has fiber to it, doesn't it? From the marine safety server.
I think so, yeah.
So we could be spending twice there. And then the town office landlines, internet, is that a number for when the fiber gets switched over here?
No,
So that could go down?
yeah, we could, yeah, you're right.
Which one is that the 9875?
Yes.
Yep,
Good
Yeah.
catch, Steve.
this is what I see.
$10,000 for landline, and then that seems like a lot of.
Well, now they're 2,500 at the historical building.
Yeah.
It's expensive. We have a lot of services, right? And each one of those services comes at a fee.
But like,
That's what the thing with when we go to
that why we got-
fiber, we can go to fiber phones, and everything can be over the network, and then you're only paying the fee once, you don't have to pay it that many times.
Well, we're also supposed to get something free from them, right, the town?
There's nothing
No,
free
you don't
there
get
from
anything.
that.
Yeah.
No, when they got the contract for the town, I thought the town,
No.
the stuff in the town, we were gonna get a,
No, we have a lease on the line for 20 years, and then there's a 20-year extension contract that we can do, so it's exclusive to us. They can't tap into it, they can't resell it, can't do anything like that.
but weren't
And
we
I think
supposed
they're
to
giving
save
us
money at the
a
town level?
preferred rate.
Correct, we're supposed to
Yeah.
be saving money at the town level.
Yeah, it's still
But it's not
expensive.
saving. There's not that much of a savings. It was at the end of the 20 years, we were gonna save like a couple years.
There's no savings after what we paid to have
Yeah,
them installed.
that's why the
I
deal
thought
was.
right up front, we were getting a discounted rate.
No. I mean, maybe it's discounted, but
Right.
it's not much more, the discount isn't worth what we paid in to have it all done.
We'll look at, see if there's savings with
Yeah.
the fiber lines.
That's why I was fighting it so much.
Oh, I know.
They do a lot of online seminar stuff. They said.
Anything else? Any other questions, comments? Nope. All right. Moving on.
What tab is the clerk?
Clerk is 8. And then she printed it off with a different one of us.
All right. Start with the same thing.
Yep.
All right. Highlights, big thing here is we did lose one clerk and we've replaced that person, but that's had some implications on insurance. We'll talk about that in a minute. Salaries and benefits in FY '25, actual expenses were $292,700. And in FY '26, we budgeted $328,000. And in FY '27, we're budgeting $405,000. That's an increase of $77,564. Everybody in that group is on a 3% COLA, but the insurance is going up $44,159. We had one person who didn't take it, who's now on a family plan. And then we had the lady who left. The person who replaced her has herself and her spouse. So between the 18% increase in the base and then the added number of employees covered by the insurance, that's what caused it to go up by $44,159.
Do we have the total number of health insurance increase for the year? What's the total when you add all the departments and you add everything? I mean, you can bring it next week, but
Yeah.
that number's
I mean, I'm looking at
gonna be huge.
I'm looking
We've
at
just
just
looked
quick
at two
numbers.
departments.
It's almost 200 grand.
Well, we haven't finished going through all the departments.
So between the three that we've gone
Right.
through, you're pushing almost 200 grand.
Yeah, we still got fire, we still got several other departments to go through.
You-
There was a Naples resident that had made a suggestion of looking at a split 60-40 for insurance.
Yeah, but if you go, if you split that.
Could you run those numbers to see what that would be?
But you split it 60-40, Sam. You're gonna have to give every town employee an 8 to 10% increase in pay. Because when you go to work for a town, you go there for the benefits to meet the hourly rate what you're worth. If you're gonna do a 60-40 split, you're gonna have to pay them on the back side of it to make it even worth it.
Well, I understand that, but we gotta figure out what the number difference is gonna be to get us down, the rate down. So, I mean,
I do-
whether we agree on it or vote on it at the end is different, but at least we can see what the numbers are.
And again, I
Split it,
think,
you 60-40 split it, and you have half your employees walk out, what's the town gonna do? We'll be in a bigger shit show than we are now.
I'm just asking for numbers, I'm not asking for it to be done.
right, I think it's important that we all realize, right now, we're gonna be asking for a bunch of information in order for us to make an intelligent decision down the road. No matter what we do, somebody is not gonna be happy, because we're not going to accept, or I can say I will not accept this budget as printed. We can't, the taxpayers can't afford this budget as printed.
I think at some point, we're gonna have to have a conversation about what has happened over the last 10 years. And
I thought you did a good job explaining it last night, or.
Your predecessors messed a lot of stuff up.
Right.
well,
$2.9 million is missing.
but
It's not missing,
think about,
it just wasn't
It,
accounted for.
no, there's no,
No, there's no.
doesn't-
be careful about how you say that.
Yeah,
There's no
there's
money
no-
missing.
No
it's
missing.
not.
No.
It was undertaxed.
It was misappropriated.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't misappropriated,
It was under-collected.
undercollected,
We didn't collect as much money
as we could have.
as we could have.
Yeah. But the other thing you have to understand is if you look at what the mill rate would have been, you'd be sitting on the number you have now. And instead of having this pop event where we're trying to fix it in 1 year, right, which is not what we're proposing on our end, there's a budget, and then we're gonna talk about how do we get a soft landing on the budget, right, so that we don't have to give it all at once. And we haven't even got to that part of it yet. But had we gone up a little bit every year, right, to cover the increasing of the school and the increasing of the county and everything, we'd be sitting on the same number. The problem
If
is
we had
we
just
bought
followed
it down with
inflation.
reserves, and now we got a pop event.
Okay, this is
That's
where,
how we're getting in trouble.
hold on. This is where I disagree, but I didn't want to say anything Monday night. The difference is, we would have made different decisions over the years, and I can tell you right now, we would not have spent $500,000 over 3 years hiring 8 additional people. We wouldn't have done that, because we would not have agreed to the additional
Where are
tax
the
rate.
8 additional people?
Between fire, between
Oh, fire.
Public Works, and between this office, yes. But what I'm saying, Randy, is had each budget committee known what the number should have been in the tax rate you're talking about, they would have cut some things out of the budget.
Would they have?
Yeah.
If we'd have
Yeah,
gone up.
for
sure.
Well,
For
hold on
sure.
a second. If you'd have gone up 15 cents a year over 10 years, you'd be at a $1.50 increase. 15 cents a year is a very reasonable increase,
But you
right?
gotta remember that there were some years that we took money out of certain accounts
Correct.
to lower the mill rate, so that it wasn't such a
Not to
hard.
lower, not to
I'm
to
sorry,
not
to
increase.
counteract it.
We spent money like you did last year, you spent $500,000.
Right.
We spent money out of the undesignated surplus, because we thought we had it in there
Right.
to maintain the mill rate.
But see, the problem is when you have a 15, let's say you have a 15-cent increase in a year, okay? And you buy it down one year using your undesignated funds. The next year comes, the cost went up another 15 cents, so now you got a 30-cent delta that you're trying to buy down.
Yep.
Then you go another year and you got a 45-cent delta you're trying to buy down. Eventually you can't buy it down and you get the pop event. You get to where you were
But-
gonna be.
Correct, but if we had known the accurate numbers back then, there could have been an adjustment done.
Okay, the numbers were the data was there, right? It wasn't that anybody lied about it.
No, but it wasn't presented to us correctly. And then it wasn't presented to the select board correctly.
The
And then it
implication-
wasn't presented to the taxpayers
Right, the
correctly.
implication was our surplus was greater than it was.
Right.
That's
Yeah, but
what's
you
the,
can't sustain it over time, that's my point. Eventually, there's a pop event.
it's only a pop event if A, you stop getting additional revenues or underspend your expenditures. Had we known this, the reset button would have been at the reval 3 years ago. That would have been the reset button. That would have been the time to do it, because you had a reval and you could have had the reset button. Instead of us lowering the tax rate, the select board lowering the tax rate from 13 all the way down to 860, they would have set it at 950. Everyone would have been thrilled because it used to be 13, so they've been happy as a pig in shit. That's would have been the time. We would have done the reset button 3 years ago. But we didn't know the information, we didn't do it, we brought it all the way down to 860.
Well, I'm just telling you, when you're looking at the budget and you're trying to cut it, you're trying to cut 10 years of incremental increases.
We get it, yes, I understand.
Okay, there's only one way to do that. And I will tell you that there's problems with how effective we are at our jobs if we go back to where we were 10 years ago.
That's fine. I agree with that.
No, I don't think it is fine. I
No,
think
I agree with that.
you got financial
The
issues.
situation here, though, for tonight, is that we're asking for numbers.
Right.
So we just need to get the
Options.
numbers.
We're asking for
Whether
options.
we continue on down the line and
I-
ask for a change or not, or what is a completely different
I just
story
want
for a
you to
different day.
understand that there's another piece of the story that impacts the decision-making as well, and it needs to be presented at some point.
At some point, not tonight.
Yeah. Okay,
Because we're just asking for numbers to be run tonight.
okay,
And then we have a whole budget workshop.
Yeah,
to
right
figure
now,
it
we're
out.
just asking for options.
okay, all right.
So we're at the clerk's budget.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. I think I covered what I wanted to cover. We'll save the rest of it in case there's any questions, so. What do you guys have for questions?
Do you guys have any questions?
I'm just going down line by line. Oh, so the
I'm trying to
postage,
get
so
back
the
on track.
postage here got cut in half, so that's where the difference is. Okay.
So for for full transparency, I asked for this adjustment in numbers because to me, this whole budget is a calculation that's based on what the taxpayers are putting in versus what the taxpayers are getting out. And there's been a lot of discussion on the office, town office only being open 4 days a week. And for me, and from the recommendation I'm gonna make, it's either going to be we cut a clerk and stay at 4 days so that it's less of an impact on the taxpayers. Or we go to a 5-day open week, not a 4-day work week, but a 5 days where we're open. So I don't know if that's something you guys want to all take into consideration or not, but that's going to be my recommendation that I make to the select board.
So if I understand correctly, Pat, this updated sheet that eliminates,
Are you guys open on any Saturdays in the summer?
6 last year.
So, okay, so during the summer, you're hitting 5 days a week during the summer. It's a half a day on
Only
Saturday.
6, but then you also have Mondays that are holidays. So a lot of weeks they're closed from Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and they're back open on Tuesday.
you're only open 3 hours on Saturday, 8 to 11, right?
The Saturdays that we
The Saturdays are
Yeah.
open, they're open, they're only open 8 to 11.
What was your question?
And we're not open on Mondays anyhow, so every
Correct.
weekend is a 3-day weekend anyhow. Even with a holiday. Like, we don't observe
And
it
do-
on Tuesday.
But you do get paid for it?
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You don't,
Right, so
but you just
wait,
get
you're
paid.
never open on Mondays? So you're not open Fridays and you're not open Mondays?
No,
No,
the
we're
clerks are
open
open
Fridays.
Tuesday through Friday.
That's one of the big problems is we're opposite. So code is Monday through Thursday, clerks is Tuesday through Friday.
The big problem is the town people don't know when they're open or
You
who.
guys don't even know.
Well, I know.
I don't
Or when-
use it, I
or what
honestly, I don't
department-
use
or
it.
what department is open.
So if I can't get there, a lot of people can't get there. And then we have everyone coming up from the different states, we can't get there. So,
So this is.
That's a select
schedule
board,
isn't
select board.
a budget committee discussion anyhow.
She
I mean,
can make a
so the
recommendation.
recommendation that I'm asking for the numbers is to either cut a clerk or go back to being open 5 days a week. That's the recommendation I'm going to make to the select board. So
Right,
that's
so
why
if
I
you go-
wanted the numbers.
So,
So like right now, you're open 10 hours a day, Tuesday, Thursday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday,
We work
Friday.
10 hours a day,
Yeah.
Tuesday through Friday.
Okay.
And the window is open 7:30 to 4:30. We work 7 to 5.
So the window's open 36 hours a week,
Yes.
9 hours a day, 4 days.
this whole discussion is coming up at the next select board meeting.
What was your question?
The sheet that Sam asked for was to eliminate one clerk, right? So it went from 410,
No,
no, it went from 457 to 358.
Yeah,
It's
$100,000.
98.
So it's $100,000 for one clerk when you add all the benefits and everything?
So each employee, it's costing, I just ran the numbers on that. Every employee, every month, it's $1,700 in benefits. It's $20,000 a year, $19,627 a month for the employee, for each employee for the year is what it's costing for the health insurance. It's $20,000 a year.
Okay, somebody's gotta help me out here then. I assume, right now I'm looking at a clerk getting paid $44,000 a year. And the other clerk's getting 49,
That's the current budget?
right? So,
Hold on a second, that's not.
something's wrong here,
Yep, hold on.
yeah. Because that plus insurance doesn't add to $100,000.
This is the one sheet.
I
Well,
think,
it's not just insurance. I mean, it's not just health
Yeah, this is one
insurance.
that
It's
he handed me
FICA,
down.
it's Medicare, it's health insurance, it's
So when you
FMLA, it's dental, it's unemployment, it's workers' comp, it's retirement pension.
Yeah, it's all the way right down.
It's
the bottom.
all of that. So if I remove that one salary, all of those other numbers were decreased as well, and it equals about $100,000. But
So whatever their salary is, we can double it, because that's what it costs for insurance and benefits and everything?
No,
But you're also paying,
So I have a
Taxes.
calculation.
Right, that's what I mean,
error.
everything.
yeah.
I have a calculation error on here.
Okay.
On the deputy clerk 2, for the actual proposed budget for this year. I'm not sure why that is bad, but it is bad. It should be not 58,000, it should be, I think all of those numbers might be off.
Yeah, they have to be. They're going from 52 to 66, they're going from 49 to 62.
Yeah, there's gotta be something with my formula, but I will update that. Do you mind if I go and do that right now?
Nope.
No?
Should be 60.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch it because I
I mean,
just
that's
saw
what-
this
Yeah,
You change that,
earlier this
that
afternoon.
number right there.
She's right there.
So
Yeah, that's what he's saying, numbers are all.
Yeah.
while she's doing that,
Yep,
do you mind if we ask Michelle a bunch of questions?
no, go for it.
Educate us.
You wanna know?
I want,
Do you want me to go to the podium?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
so educate us on if we go to 3 staff instead of 4.
Okay.
What dramatically would happen? Because I know that there's a push for citizens to do this stuff online, which saves your department time.
I think first I'd like to start with saying that it's talked like we have 4 clerks, we have 4 clerks, we have 4 clerks. I really have 2 window clerks. I've got a deputy clerk who's a registrar of voters, and I have myself who's a clerk of the town.
Yeah.
My 40 hours that I do, or plus 40 hours a week, is not being on the window. I'm happy to help on the window, but when I get pulled from the window, there's duties that need to be done in my office that aren't visually seen. I think it's perceived that we are cashiers up front and that we all 4 run the windows. But there's a lot of reporting and state requirements that are done from us. Elections, liens, taxes, motor vehicle report, vital records, Dave's statistics, inland fisheries and wildlife. There's a lot of reporting that's done that isn't included in the window. So if we went down to 3 people from 4, that would essentially, I'm gonna take in, that's putting 2 people back up onto the window. Which doesn't mean that they're just doing those transactions. We've got emails coming in from realtors and, asking tax information and needing everything. But you have those 2 people there. Now you have the 2 people that are back, or not 2 people, that are doing the election stuff, which, mind you, the election stuff doesn't stop. Right now, we're finishing up on stuff through CVR, which is Certified Voter Registration Online. Stuff that pertained to the election in November that they just opened for us to go back in and start doing. So right now, we're also doing petitions. If we get 16 pages of petitions that come in with 75 signatures on them each, we have to take every single signature, look them up in CVR, and compare them. And that's not just for municipal petitions that are going around, or like the municipal offices that have nomination papers going around right now. That's for the gubernatorial, for state. Anybody in the town of Naples that signs a petition, those all come through this office. And those have to be verified, and each signature. Your signature's on there, Sam. I may know what it looks like, but I need to go in and make sure that it's valid and it hasn't changed. Whether you've been married, you haven't been married, because those cards have to be updated. That's just one thing. The struggle would be real. To make sure that that stuff can get done, especially in the summertime when I am consistently having 2 people on the window at all times, and we put that 3rd computer in for an extra person to go up to get that line down so people aren't having to wait so long. So that, it's concerning, because I feel as though a lot of what's on the backside isn't known as what we do.
Okay, so,
Yeah.
so here's
Yeah.
my perception.
Yeah.
Especially after talking to you. My perception, talking to you a year ago, my perception is a lot of stuff was not getting done that should have been getting done. And it required a lot of work over the last year or two to get the house in order. Fair enough? So I'm under the assumption that now the house is in order. Well, we can't be 2 years behind where we're still trying to get the house in order. I understand there's a lot of work that needs to be done going forward. But there was a time when the house was not in order and it required a lot of your time and effort to get the house in order. So the first perception is people were used to seeing Judy at the window on a regular basis helping out. They don't see you at the window helping out. So that's a perception.
Understood.
And that's tough to get over.
Yep.
The second perception I see, and I did it myself, I didn't do it, my wife registered 3 cars last week, is a lot more people are registering their cars and doing work online. And the more we educate them, the less work you guys have to do at town office. So just like my 3 cars alone saved somebody a half an hour, because it took half an hour for her to do it online.
Yep. And understood that it saves time, but just so you know, those reports that are done at the state level get sent to the town level for us to update our records, because they don't talk to each other. So just because people are doing their stuff online, that's awesome. But at some point, we're gonna get that update, and we need to update our system because the state doesn't talk to us.
So it's gonna take you a half an hour to register?
It's not gonna take us a half an hour, but maybe 10 minutes.
Okay.
So it's not alleviating the whole process.
All right. That's why I asked you to come up to educate us.
Hey, I'm here for you to ask me all the questions you have.
So then the third piece of this is, I've been in here quite often, and I know it's winter time.
Yep.
I've been in here quite often where there's nobody.
There are times that there's not a line.
There's not a lot of people. But, so what are the 2 window clerks, what are they doing when there's not a lot of people? Because there's been times where I've seen them just sitting there waiting for the customer to come in.
Yeah, so there is a lot of stuff that they are doing online as well. So we get tax transfer deeds that come to us from the Registry of Deeds. Anytime someone sells a property, does a warranty deed, a quick claim, those are all updated. Those used to come to us on a CD that we had one computer, we could put them in and print them off. Those then go to Paul. Paul updates the system within Trio, comes back to us, and we file those in our system. With that being said, we have to go onto the Maine RETA form site, and that allows us to print off. It's just the form that gets attached to those deeds. So they're doing that. We've got mail that comes in year-round, whether it's for taxes or rec payments. We're processing payments for every department other than code that we have. So we're processing senior fitness payments, we're doing that stuff as well.
So do all towns, their computers don't coincide with the state computers,
Yeah, so-
or just Naples?
No, it's not just Naples. So for instance, like if you came in here and you got like a regular license plate and then you wanted a vanity plate, you're required to go to the state to do the vanity. And then the vanity plate doesn't get updated to us unless you tell us, or we do a monthly upload. When that monthly upload comes in, it tells us the differences of what we have in our system and what the state has had since we've had that in our system. And then we go in and do the vehicle differences.
So if we had a better computer system, it wouldn't help the situation?
No.
Well, not if we had a better computer system.
Okay.
If the state had a
Okay,
better operation.
So there's nothing we can do on
It's
our?
out of my control.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So final question.
Yeah.
I've been in here in the summer where it is busy as hell. So similar to what code is gonna do, they're gonna have, we're setting aside some money so they can hire a part-time person or somebody. If in fact, we end up having to make some budget cuts, and one of them is a clerk's position, would it make sense if we left some money in the budget for somebody in the summer when it's busy as a part-time person or a stipend? Would that solve 80% of this problem.
Yeah, I mean, I think the idea of it sounds wonderful, but I think what people need to understand too is we're agents of the state. We have certain trainings that are required every so often and meetings that we have to attend to be able to offer these services in the town. So it's not just that I can take a Joe Schmo and hire them and allow them to do and access everything, every single system that we do and utilize it. They have to be certified, or not certified, but they have to be trained and given the agent status from the state to be able to operate and give these services to the town. So it's hard to explain, but the easiest way for me to explain it is I'm hired by the town of Naples to offer these services through the state. If you didn't have the agents in the municipality, we wouldn't be able to offer people to register vehicles here, get hunting and fishing licenses here, register their snowmobiles here. You can't just have anybody do that.
So my final question.
Yeah.
In the past, Paula and, drawing a blank, Kate used to help out in the clerk's office.
Okay.
Were they trained? Were they,
When that was happening, I wasn't here,
I know
Jim,
that, I know
and
that.
so I don't have that answer for you.
okay.
I'm not sure.
So you're saying that they have to be trained by the state in order to help out behind the counter?
State training. So
In order to
we're
help out.
agents. I'm the motor vehicle agent for the state.
Yeah,
She has to go through new level, truck level, and we also have truck level here. Not all towns have truck level. We offer truck level, so you don't have to go to the BMV, actually.
So not she said that, Jim. I've had to literally send friends of mine. I can tell you, Gray, Raymond, and Poland, you cannot register anything over 26,000 pounds in that town.
Casco, you can't either.
Casco you can now,
Oh, you
recently.
can.
Yeah,
But
but it's a certain certification that you have to have as an agent
That
through
you
the state
have.
to offer it. So because I have that through the state, I can offer it to our municipalities.
now when you say you can offer it, your employees can offer it to them.
Myself and my deputies.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
So if there's all this stuff that we have to do, which I know is a lot,
yeah.
why are we not open the 5 days? So that we can offer more on more days to the taxpayers.
So it's not, I mean, I guess part of me is misunderstanding your question a little bit, because if there's so much to do, not all of what we have to do is be available.
But wouldn't it make more sense? I understand what you're saying. So
Yeah.
I'll try. to
Sorry.
Wouldn't it make, as if there's a bigger bang for the buck, right? Wouldn't it make sense for the residents or the taxpayers to see that if you had the same hours, same amount of people, but over a longer duration? So over 5 days instead of 4 days, so that they could come in and do what they need to do, and then maybe not all bombard you in a 4-day work week.
Yeah, so again, I mean, I'm happy to discuss this because we're talking about possibly making a recommendation of eliminating somebody. But if we were open 5 days a week, that's limiting that's crunching the hours shorter for availability.
Correct. But it's allowing people to.
Do you know what I mean? When we
more
were
days to
open,
get here.
yeah,
More
when we
days
were
to get
open
here,
5
rather
days a
than just
week,
the hours.
when we were open 5 days a week, we were here 40 hours.
Right.
We're here 4 days a
Right.
week, we're still here 40 hours.
Yeah,
Right.
but what
But
Sam is saying,
but
what
the
Sam is
complaints that
saying,
you're hearing is
right,
that
the customer would
people will
prefer-
show up on a Monday or whatever day it is, and it's not open. Or, someone would have a Monday off to come and do this stuff, and it's not open. And then it was 5 days a week and Saturdays, right?
every other.
Every other Saturday. Then it was no
Well, and
6 Saturdays. Then it was down to 4 days.
Well, there was also-
And just to be clear too, when we were 5 days a week, it was 8 to 1 on Mondays, or maybe even noon. 8 to noon or 8 to 1 on Mondays.
And Thursdays
And
were open.
8
Yeah,
to
Thursday you're
4,
open till
Tuesday
7.
through Friday.
No, you were open late on Thursday.
That came after the fact.
Right,
And every other Saturday.
right.
But we're.
It wasn't every other
It seems
Saturday
like
at that
we're
point.
cutting back,
But so-
cutting back,
yeah.
cutting back, but not cutting the numbers.
Because I see what she's saying, and I don't see a problem with the 410s, I really don't. Is there, to please the townspeople, is there a way that 1 day a week you guys say shift from?
I was 10 to 7 on Thursdays, Tim. And then they took it away from me. I offered 10 to 7.
I wouldn't say do it on Friday night, but I think Thursday.
I wasn't the one that eliminated that. I was asked for the numbers, I provided them,
Saturdays.
and there were minimal people that came in after 5 o'clock. I wasn't the one that, I would be happy to offer a late night. I was not the one that
Jason did
recommended to take that away.
I think Sam illustrated the biggest problem we have in this town right now. Nobody knows when it's open, nobody knows. They
Jim,
just don't
me
know.
too. I've been here 5 years and this is my 5th schedule.
Yeah.
Part of that is because the building's open 5 days a week.
Right,
Yeah.
But the different
But-
departments
Are
aren't.
not.
exactly.
Well,
If they were all on the same schedule,
They need to be on the same schedule.
yeah.
And I'm sorry, but code enforcement needs to be here, because your construction workers, they go Monday to Friday, code needs to be here Monday to Friday. There's no reason for them to have a 4-day work week. That's the dumbest thing in the world, because construction does not stop.
Yeah, but you only have
Oh,
one code
but you
officer.
know what? The same argument is on the clerk. The public all has different jobs at different times, does
If you're
different
open late,
things.
but if you're open late one day a week and they're doing their 40 hours, there's no problem with them doing what they're doing. There's
But we
not.
are a tourist town, and so a lot of our taxpayers are from out of state that are coming up on the weekends.
I understand the Saturdays.
So, and the thing is ultimately, like we've said multiple times tonight, this is a policy, the
Yeah, it
schedule,
is.
and that goes to the select board.
It is.
So,
I-
addressing it here would be you making a recommendation to me, eliminating a clerk, and me telling you what I think works and what doesn't work.
You answered all the
That
questions
is-
I wanted you to.
I personally wouldn't recommend to do Saturdays, because if we remember correctly, I think it was last year or maybe 2 years ago, Jason pulled the survey, and for the customers that came in on Saturdays, it cost us more to open the door for one clerk than we made. Well, that's not budget-wise smart.
No, but, and that's not my recommendation. The recommendation is if we go to 5 days or a long day.
But,
I-
but once
For the
again,
big
I think
events,
a longer day is definitely
Really,
worth
it's,
researching.
because really this, what these numbers all come down to is, are the residents going to vote for it? And if they look at the numbers and they say, oh, well, we're just shy of 500,000, but I can't get in there on these certain days, they're gonna vote it down. So if we can say to them, listen, we're either gonna eliminate a clerk or we're gonna go 5 days, or whatever the recommendation is, it may, I'll get people to go and vote yes, rather than vote no, and then put out their own recommendations at the vote.
You've asked the questions, we can get you some data.
Right,
Exactly,
yeah.
yeah.
I have
With-
updated numbers.
Oh,
Okay.
really good.
with
I mean-
all your
I mean,
fees that you guys charge, how much are you guys bringing in a year?
So, I don't have that number for you right now. I should be happy to,
It's on our
yes.
revenue, it's on our revenue page.
Yeah, but there are,
So Tim,
So I'm new to this.
Well, if you'd have been here last week,
Listen.
we discussed revenues.
so
As
Tim,
it stands.
the clerk's
This is as
office
it
brings in
stands.
1.322 million.
Yeah,
What's how much?
The clerk's office
of her
brings in
stipend,
1.322
just so you
million.
can
And that's
understand,
just in
because she gets
fees.
that stipend, I
Or is that-
accidentally
is
copied
that-
and
That's
pasted and
reg,
added an extra 12.
it's fees attributable to them, not to
Okay.
code,
So
not
it's
to anybody
it's
else.
reduced by $36,000.
Okay.
Well, more
How
than
much?
that actually, because it
1.3.
reduced all the benefits and
No,
everything.
no. How much was it reduced?
12,000 all the way down.
What was the original?
Well, it dropped in.
457?
457 to 417.
Yeah, so.
any chance I can get a copy of that too?
So you're asking,
No, you're just the department head.
so Michelle,
You can't
you're
have a
literally
copy of
asking
that.
for $7,000 more than you did
What the hell
last
is wrong with you?
There's a,
You're,
It should be about 47.
if,
You're asking,
Almost
it's actually just shy of 5,000.
I'm just going easy, no, just over 7,000.
All of them, so those were reduced by 12.
In and about,
so
yeah.
to be clear, we were originally handed a budget of $457,000 from the difference of the 410. That's what we were originally.
So now it's
So
417.
now we're at 417.
Now, did you update the
Right,
sheet?
so just, but did you see too
Eliminating
that
one
my
position.
increase in just health insurance alone was $44,000?
So what did you make it up at? Like, I'm,
That's minus
So
one
at-
Well,
clerk.
a lot of
Budget.
stuff was moved, postage was moved,
This is minus one
that kind of
clerk.
stuff. This is my,
Updated minus one clerk.
And reviewed based off of what was spent and adjusted.
right.
But alone, health insurance alone, not including dental, unemployment, workers' comp, retirement, PFMLA, stuff out of my control. The insurance went up 44,000 of that overall increase.
Right.
So my operational costs and salaries, without Benny's,
You're down.
I am down.
Which you need to explain how that happened. What's down besides
Budget,
postage?
so her budget decrease is, it's down 34.3.
No.
17,000 was
I did that
legal,
number and
that
not
was
that
moved to the
number.
reserves.
Okay, so that was just moved.
Yep.
Correct.
And then there was also,
You can't count the 17, because
That's
we just
fine,
moved it.
however you
no,
wanna look
and then,
at it.
and then another piece, but remember, that's about half of it. And then the rest of it was really right-sizing the budget. Last year was our first full year not under administration, and there were some assumptions made, and we tightened it up.
Right, when we jumped out of, correct me if I'm wrong, out of 10 for admin and
Admin,
that
right.
first time,
Right.
and we did like the
Yep.
10A, 10B, and then I went into 16. This has all been trial and error trying to figure out those numbers and getting as close as we can to that.
If you're
Yeah.
gonna make a 60-40 split, you have no choice.
Okay,
I wanted to see if there was any more questions first, but I do have just one comment to make, that's all.
If you see the numbers, sorry, I'm so sorry.
No, don't be sorry, I just wanted to know if there were any other questions before I had like one last thing just to say before I was done.
I don't. Does anyone else have any other questions?
no, I thank you for answering all my questions.
Steve's go.
The milfoil stickers.
Yep.
You still have to be an agent for that, correct?
Correct?
Because they went to Moses.
Yeah.
Because they what?
They went to Moses, which is
The
their.
Lake and
you can
River
explain
Protection
more.
stickers. Moses is Inland Fisheries and Wildlife, so it's anything not,
Did anyone else picture
On
like you had
vehicle.
someone walking across water right
Yeah, I thought
Yeah,
Moses was
okay.
coming down with the
I thought
town.
it was like a saying, and I was
No.
like, what is this?
No,
it's like the
their own line.
acronym for, I don't even know what it actually stands for. But it's Inland Fisheries and Wildlife, it's who we utilize to be able to, yeah. But you have to be an agent to issue those as well. They did last year
I mean, as simple
terminate,
as a milfoil sticker, you have to be an agent for, which is,
and you wanna know what the town makes off of that?
it's $1, isn't it?
Do we need it?
How many boats are
Every boat
registered?
needs it.
Any boat that's not registered in the state of Maine needs one. Yep, yep.
So,
Answers that question.
Hey, listen, I think some of this stuff is silly too, but it's just my job to enforce it and make sure that we roll the way we need to roll to be able to roll.
has your budget been able to come, like realistically, it's come down? Because, except for the insurance, is that because of what you're charging for fees?
Well, not just that, but like they said too, Tim, I
Yeah,
know
a
that
lot of
you're.
stuff
I-
got moved
A
around.
lot of stuff.
That, but also, the clerks were always under admin. We have done some trial and error with estimating numbers and guesstimating to get to where we are now, because my numbers were always included with town manager and finance. The clerks didn't have their own line.
I think last
So
year
the
it
clerks
split up.
were asked to move out, so this 16, number 16, the clerks, is fairly new. I think this is year 2.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Any other questions?
I know that this has happened with, a couple of the meetings, because I've watched them from home while I'm having dinner. But it is talked about how the workforce has doubled over the years. I just wanted to make a statement real quick that, when that is referred to and consistently referenced towards the clerk's office, I just want to remind everybody publicly too, that like in my department, when I was hired in 2021, there were 3. We now have 4, so I did add somebody. There has since been, since I have started, an additional full-time rec position, an additional code officer, a town planner, an additional finance clerk, and what I understand to be a maintenance teammate.
True.
So when I am constantly hearing that the clerk's office workforce has doubled, I'm not the only one, and I actually
I say
haven't
town,
doubled.
I don't say clerk's office. I always say the town has
Say
doubled
the
in
clerk's office.
employees.
But my point being is, when it's referenced as being the clerks, there's more to it than just the clerks. The town and the budget hasn't just increased as a whole because of my department specifically.
Totally agree.
I can promise you we'll go after every department.
Well, and I'm not saying that you are or you aren't, but I'm just saying when it says that the workforce has doubled, I've added one person
Right, since you started.
since I've started.
But like, I know.
The one second, please. So, with the town continuing to grow and an increase in significant responsibilities, when Mr. Hawley was here, he handled many duties that now fall within the clerk's office. This isn't any type of criticism, but it did reduce the workload previously carried by the clerks at that time. Following the audits that we had that hadn't been done in years, and my attending of mandatory trainings and meetings, it became clear that there were many required processes that had not been fully implemented in the past. When hired, I was trained to do a job that wasn't fully being done to the state and legal requirements for the state of Maine. Much of my workload over the past several years, which is what you had mentioned, has involved correcting past issues and ensuring compliance going forward. I'd like to make a point and say that being told in the past that the new clerk is changing things is far from the truth. I take my position seriously here in Naples, and I follow all state laws and procedures as required. I'm not changing processes arbitrarily. If anything, I'm enforcing what should always have been done in the past. Please don't misunderstand me. I would never speak poorly of the staff that worked here. They were all very kind, dedicated individuals that cared tremendously about the town of Naples and their residents and summer residents. However, the work was not being completed in a way that met current legal and procedural standards.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You have anything else, Randy,
No,
for us this week?
that's it.
Again, I just want to say that, and Randy kind of brought it up. And I'm speaking for myself. I'm gonna ask for a bunch of information so I can,
Yeah.
A, get educated like she did tonight, answering all my questions.
Yeah.
And B, just to understand the options that we may have. At the end of this whole process, the budget committee may say, you know what? Let the council make the tough decision. Let them go sell that mill rate of $1.50, $1.60 increase.
Well, it is
So-
up to them.
Right, so, you know, our job is to present a budget that we feel that the taxpayers can afford and that they'll vote for. So we're just asking for options, so I don't wanna make, I just wanna make sure.
No, I don't have a problem with
And-
you guys asking any question. I
clear,
told you we'll get it for you.
Because we asked that question, we found that there was a $50,000 error in the budget that was being presented to us.
If you
And
don't
so-
ask questions, you're not gonna know.
So we're not gonna know, and that's what happened last year too. There were a lot of questions that came up and people would say, oh, I wasn't really there for that long, or whatever.
Right,
So
right.
they're tough questions. It doesn't mean that we're, personally, it doesn't mean I'm coming after you guys, but it's just, if we didn't
don't know if
ask,
you don't ask.
we
I
wouldn't
get
have
it.
known. And there would have been an extra 50,000 sitting in there. And now the number doesn't look so horrendous.
Can you just make sure you go through and check
Yeah.
that calculating error didn't happen elsewhere?
No, it was, yeah.
Just unique to this, probably was,
It
but
was.
just in case. Yep, thank you.
Fix it, because look, that number.
This one's different.
So next week, the school department's coming?
Yes, yep. Yep,
That's gonna be the number that throws us right into the,
Was it at 12,000?
They never changed.
yeah, it's school department and maintenance and roads and recreation.
yep.
166.
And then you guys had talked about having a joint meeting with the select board.
Yeah, we did that in the past.
I don't know how we're gonna get it in.
This is what.
The 4th, the week of the 4th is out, right? So then the week of the 11th, you have your meeting, and then the select board's next meeting is the 23rd.
No, it'd have to be a we wouldn't do it on the select board meeting night. We'd have to, the select board would have to,
Can we do, right?
I thought we already set
I
that
go
meeting.
wrong on this one.
Well,
Yeah,
The last week, didn't we set when we wanted the joint meeting with the select board?
what?
It was on a Wednesday, right?
We moved one and we set a, yeah, the 23rd, committee and BOS meeting, yeah. Board of Selectmen.
It's on the, well, and it's on this agenda.
I don't know.
What?
It's on this agenda.
No, it has the joint, when they talked about a joint working session.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about.
You talked about it last week, you talked about it at the meeting last week, it should be in your minutes.
Not everything we talked
Thank
about
you.
is in our
Thank
minutes.
you.
That's all
Yeah.
I was saying, if they talked
Okay, so when would you guys like to have the joint workshop with the select board?
I thought that was right here on the 23rd.
No, that's your joint meeting.
Oh, that's the public hearing.
That is their regularly scheduled meeting. You'll have to have it before then.
What about our workshop?
Your workshop's on the 11th,
No.
no?
Our workshop with the select board, we said would be March 11th,
Okay, so that's gonna be the,
Yep.
but that's the workshop.
correct?
And then the budget committee votes are supposed to be on the 18th.
On the 18th is when the budget committee votes as a body,
Okay,
and then on the 23rd is when the public hearing and the board, the select board and the budget committee meet.
okay,
At
got it.
their and that's these are all Wednesdays,
All right. So it's just the 4th, the week of the 4th that's out.
correct?
All right, I'll fix that.
And for the record, we don't have the meeting minutes from last week.
You were going to approve them until you
I
couldn't.
don't have them.
Because they
So-
said that stayed from the vote.
How-
Oh, we didn't
how-
get them.
Yes, you do.
Where? I didn't get them emailed. Where are the meeting minutes from last week?
Your meeting minutes are right there,
On the agenda?
right behind your agenda.
Yeah. No, right there.
Page. There should be a page. Right there.
So it's just wrong.
The list of meetings was not updated from.
Yes, Sam, I sent this to you,
I just checked my email. I didn't get this.
okay, and so didn't Katrina, and I have a copy of the one that Katrina sent you as well. It went out twice.
The only thing, anyways, you get the right dates now.
I do now, yep.
Okay. All right.
Am I good to go?
I'm going with you. I'm leaving too.
I need a motion to close it.
So moved.